Hello, hi, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Lotus, Lotus the Sage. Thank you so much for your time. I'm grateful to have you here. So today we're doing a pick a card reading. I suppose the best way I could word the energy that Spirit's asking me to tap into is a lesson on embracing solitude. So when I was in my meditation earlier, Spirit was talking about the importance of being with oneself, getting to that point or to the threshold of feeling like you're really alone, like nobody's got your back, you have no friends, there's no support. There was a pendulum swing that's necessary, they were telling me, to get to that point of feeling completely isolated. They're saying, but there is a beauty in understanding that isolation. Whether the isolation is coming from the mind, coming from circumstances, coming from a belief system. So Spirit wants to address the certain phases solitude can present in one's life. It doesn't mean that you are lonely, literally, but you could just be feeling alone, or vice versa. You're technically alone, but you're wanting more connection. They're saying it's a warm embrace with sadness. They're saying sadness because it's a part of you that won't accept where you are in the phase of this solitude. They're giving me a whole bunch of stuff before we've even started my collective, so let's get into your choices. I'm sorry. Pile 1. That's your little charmy. Or your name tag, or your number tag, I should say. Number 2. And number 3. So if any of those numbers are calling to you, I would choose that number, or if a particular pile has been pulling your attention or your eyeballs, I'd choose that one. Okay, my collective, I'll see you at your choice. Welcome, my pile 1. Let's see what Spirit wants to let us know when it comes to embracing solitude for you, my beautiful collective. Okay, my collective of pile 1, let us see what the lesson for you to embrace solitude is. Let's just see what the lesson is. Like, what's the main purpose or the main reason why Spirit is teaching you a lesson in solitude, whichever way they're going to show us. Let's see. So we have share wisdom. Reclaim. And the revolutionary. So, what I'm gathering from Spirit, excuse me, about the lesson in embracing solitude, and you're starting off with share wisdom. Share wisdom talks about sharing what you know based on the past trials and tribulations of your life, of your knowledge, experience, wisdom, etc. So they're asking you to share that wisdom and reminding yourself you do not need to change yourself to be respected as somebody who's knowledgeable or knows what they're talking about. There's nothing that you need to do, add, take away, etc. You are enough as you are. And I think whatever lesson or how solitude came up in your life has maybe to do with communication. It can have something to do with speaking one's truth, of living authentically within one's skin, which leads us into the reclaim. And that reclaim is reclaiming the power back in, reclaiming that wisdom that you want to share, reclaiming that confidence in oneself, that your wisdom is rooted in the deep dark soil, you know, and you're sprouting up past the mountain. I really do feel like it's a reclaiming of the power or the confidence lost. So whatever trial you went through when it came to solitude, feeling alone, feeling left out, feeling isolated, the lesson or the reasoning behind that, spirit speaking, is because you needed to learn how to share your wisdom, your gifts, your knowledge, your expertise without doubting yourself or thinking you were less than capable. And that's what Reclaim is coming in to tell you, to reclaim that power back into yourself. Yeah, this whole reclaim your knowing, that's literally what's being asked of you. And that reclaim your knowing leads you into that revolutionary energy, which is going against the status quo of pushing back, of following your own rhythm, you being that trailblazer, lighting the path for others to follow or to find their own path. That is part of the wisdom that you have already accumulated, acquired, and is being asked to share in some degree. And you may not have felt equipped, ready for, or able to communicate what spirit knows you know, and what you know you know. So that main energy for your lesson in embracing solitude was to reclaim yourself, reclaim your confidence, reclaim your talents, your gifts, your own personal medicine. Okay, let's see possibly how this lesson played out for you. We're using the illuminated playing cards. They come with a dark and a bluish or blackish and a gold deck. So, just so you know. So you have the Six of Wands. Excuse me, the Six of Swords, Six of Spades. My apologies, I don't know why I said Wands. And that Six of Swords talks about leaving your worries behind. We have the Six of Cups, also the Lovers. Union, harmony, and love. Then you have the Queen of Hearts, so the Queen of Cups. Which is also the Empress in this deck. Obviously standing for fertility, responsibility, and the responsibility to nature. Then you have the King of Swords, or the King of Clubs. Wow, the King of Wands, or the King of Clubs, which is actually the Magician, if I'm not mistaken, in this deck also, which talks about your skill and transformation. And then, wow, perfect. Six of Clubs, Six of Wands is also the Tower in this deck, which is a revelation or drastic shift in perspective. So how did this isolation or alone period time play out for you? So it feels like you moved away. That makes sense. Okay, so if we're talking about share the wisdom and reclaim and the revolutionary, it feels like you moved away, walked away from the energies that were making you, that were contributing to making you feel like you were not able or capable enough to do what Spirit's asking you to do, which is share wisdom. So you've taken that, they just said, spiritual leap of faith to step into something that you love. So for example, it feels like you've been studying something or working on something, but haven't really used or presented all of what you know, or used all of your knowledge and expertise. There's something about that. But you're moving towards something that's more heart-filled, more harmonious, more union-based, more collaborative within self, with spirit, and with the community at large, which leads you, I suppose, into this Empress, Queen of Cups energy, that responsibility to self and nature and fertility. And that fertility is to grow within self. So this alone period took you into yourself, quite literally, when it comes to your capabilities, gifts, and personal medicine. They keep saying that. And this King of Clubs, or King of Wands, which is the Magician in this deck, skillful and transformative energy. This is what this Empress does. So it's almost like you move away from whatever was creating the doubt. You step into more of the appreciation and love for whatever it is that you might be studying, working on, etc. You understand that growth that can happen and the responsibility of that growth, that knowledge, that wisdom, that leads you into that skillful magician, into that fiery king of wands, into the transformative energy of who you may have been, meaning confidence-wise, lacking in whatever area that is, to step into knowing one's own skill, to knowing one's own worth also. That brings you into this this Tower energy, the revelation of a drastic shift in perspective. You know, so this whole thing has, this whole process of the solitude, is what this Tower did. It literally drastically shifted your perspective, or will, or is going to, or is in the process of, And that revelation, I feel, is within your own powers and gifts. Look at all these guys, the Magician, the Empress, the Lovers, four major arcanas in a row, and the Tower. You know, that's no joke. So there, that interference, that intervention with spirit, interference, either way, they said, however you want to word it, was for this purpose, for you to reclaim your revolutionary energy so you can share the wisdom that is innately yours. That is innately within you. Let's see how you chose to handle, or will you choose to handle, these energies. I'm feeling a lot, my feeling for this reading was a lot more past tense or current, as opposed to future predictive energies. So it can be still future predictive energies depending on when I'm picking up whatever current of energy that we're all on. And sometimes I am ahead of the collective energies for the people who watch my readings, or the people who I'm connected to. So just so you know, keep that in mind. All right, so let's see how you will or may handle the situation. Let's see. So you have the King of Swords, King of Spades, which is the Emperor in this deck. Then you have the Four of Swords, or Four of Spades, which is which is also Death in this card, in this deck, which is that, the cycle of creation and destruction and renewal. And as we talked about that Emperor energy, we all know that that energy is about wisdom, experience, and authority. Then we have the Empress and the Queen of Hearts, Queen of Cups, right in the center again. I love that. Then we have the Eight of Hearts, Eight of Cups, which is also the Moon in this deck, which, stands for subtlety, mystery, and instinct. Wow. And then you have the Seven of Diamonds, or Seven of Pentacles, which is the Star, which talks about hope and healing. So how did you handle this particular solitude? The Emperor over here, underneath that Six of Swords, again, gaining the wisdom, experience, and your own authority to step into your wisdom, to step into your power. That leads you, as we said, moves you into that Six of Cups, or Lover's energy, but that comes here with the Four of Spades, which is talking about the cycle of creation, destruction, and rebirth, and renewal. So something that, maybe it's the approach is what I'm feeling here, the approach on how you loved something, or how you went about something, or how much effort or emphasis you put into something, needed to transform in a renewal. So like we said, it was a perspective change, an emotional change, a mind change, and that authority within yourself, you chose to end the way of being that way, or will choose. That leads you back into this Empress energy, Empress and the Emperor, divine counterparts on the board. So it feels like, again, in balance with the masculine feminine energies within. It also can have to do with other people, so please use those extra layers as they fit. But again, this fertility and responsibility, this is how you handle it. You take it on and you graciously and gratefully accept your role. That's the best way I can word what they're giving me. You've accepted your powers, your gifts, you've accepted what you've been given, and you've accepted your situation. And you're now being able to look at how to move forward. And that how to move forward is in that moon energy, which is in the subtleties, within the mystery, within your instinct. You know, and that's also a sense of walking towards what is good for you, which is your destiny, which is that hope and enlightenment, that diligent work to get to that magic, to get to that dream. That is that epiphany, that star energy also. You know, with that magician, again, manifesting from what you have, trusting your instincts, trusting your gifts and tools and capabilities and talents, shining a light back onto yourself and in yourself, they said, back into yourself, for you to actually see the beautiful creature you have become. They just said, oh, I love that. So in summary, how you handle it is you boss up, my friend. You boss up and take the challenge, and you do not back away. And it's handled so beautifully, like it's so graceful is what I'm getting. Like there's no, it feels like there's a compliance with what there is. In other words, you are just in the flow. And it feels like you had been resisting for a while, and you just said, okay, no more. New direction, enough is enough, or this can't happen any longer, or I need to do something different. And regardless of that, that solitude or this solitude energy has brought you in, or will be bringing you into that beautiful place of alignment. Again, talk about reclaiming, you know, that energy of that Empress and that Queen of Cups energy. Sharing that wisdom with the Emperor, the King of Swords energy, that wisdom. That death energy and renewal, that love energy, and that movement energy. That revolutionary energy with this like trailblazing, lighting the way with that tower and the star. You know, that magician energy of creating what you want, and that moon. Everything feels very magically fitting for you and very celestially guided is what I'm hearing. They just said, do not be afraid of who you are. And you are learning that in spades. Wow. Okay, beautiful. So let's see then what you've learned, or what you will learn. The Piper. Number 24. The Piper in this deck stands for music, order, harmony, seduction, and empathy. The Piper asks or says to get what you want. The Piper recommends that you try polite requests, gentle and patient persuasion, and then wait. Quietly welcoming for it to come to you. Yeah, there is that sense of, reclaiming. That's exactly what it is, reclaiming, waiting for it to come to you. Seek harmony and tranquility in yourself and within the world around you. Use tenderness and gentleness towards yourself and towards others. It's a time of increasing order, creativity, and harmony. So embrace this new energy that this will create, or what you've learned. That's what it's building, or will build, or has built. It's also saying that you'll learn to interpret or decipher the subtleties in expressions or emotions of others, so that you can gain some more clarity on understanding people and yourself. You could have a musical talent or develop a musical talent within this time. Or music might be really significant during these times. You might be getting like clairaudience, or hearing a lot of things through music. So what you've learned here, my lovely, is to use a gentle persuasion and waiting for them or things or it to come towards you. And again, this is about reclaiming your own power, and that is what I feel like is coming back to you. with singing the song to your soul. What is that revolutionary energy? Is that Piper's vibration? So what they're saying is what you're really learning here is how to give and receive to self, how to balance the masculine and feminine energies within, how to sit and be receptive, while also gently persuading the scenario situation without coaxing it. I hope that makes sense. I don't know if coaxing is enough of a differentiation between a gentle manipulation, but that's the energy that they're giving me. It's like a soft nudge in the direction where people will find the answer for themselves. It's not like you're giving them the answer, and then it just comes back to you. I don't know how else to describe this to you, but it's just an energy of they're giving me like what goes out comes back in. And as innocent and more genuine as you are, that momentum of the speed of it coming back in increases. That's how they're showing it to me. Interesting. Okay, let's see, my beautiful collective, what to keep in mind in the future. Well, you've understood this energy, you've gone through the solitude, you've gained the lessons needed from this particular experience. And they say companionship. Something to be reminded of. Something to be mindful of, in the future. Companionship. When you fully bless and embrace your aloneness, you're ready for the ones who are meant to be with you. May I welcome the solitude, knowing it will open the way for all healthy relationships. Wow. So again, it could have a lot more to do with love energies for you in particular, communicating love. However this plays out for you, regardless, like solitude, companionship, you can't make that shit up. Like, spirit, thanks. That was like, I couldn't even have tried to have done that. So again, spirit's just reiterating as a reminder moving into the future that if you ever find yourself back into the same feeling, just remember what you went through, the process of what you've learned, and welcome the solitude, knowing it will open the way for your healthy relationships. And fully embracing your aloneness, it means that you are now ready for what is meant for you and for the right people to come into your life. So whatever it is that you have swam, ran away, walked away from, left behind, they're acknowledging that it's no longer a contender in your future energies, but this solitude energy we always come back to at some point in our life. So don't forget about this. Companionship with self and with other. The aloneness or the solitude with self, so that you can better connect with self and other. Beautiful. Let's see what your closing support messages are for your reading, my collective. And you have health. Archangel Raziel. So Archangel Raziel talks about true health really comes when the mind, body, and spirit are in alignment. And spirit exists in a balanced state of harmony. When one aspect is off or out of balance, it affects the others as well. And he says, Archangel Raphael says, in order to function in true health, we must look at every aspect of our lives to find balance. A balanced diet, exercise, balanced rest, balanced play, balanced work, balanced body, balanced meditation. Archangel Raziel says, if you have been experiencing illness or discomfort of any kind or disharmony, it is time for you to tune into your body and mind and emotions and spirit to find the root of what is causing the pain on a deeper, unexpressed, and unresolved level, so you can take the action necessary to clear the problem. It's essential for you to observe yourself and explore what you need in order to experience true health, true alignment, in other words. You're about bringing your life into balance. That is your support. That's what's happening. This is what the whole main thing is. It's about the full encompassed health of you, mind, body, spirit. and how you use those energies. So my beautiful collective of pile one, I hope that was helpful in giving you your own perspective, giving your own insight in your lesson on embracing solitude. I really do hope that was helpful. Please let me know, leave a like, subscribe, that'd be amazing. I'm sending you so much love. Until next time, keep watering your lives. Ciao. Welcome, my pal two. All right, let's spread out your cards. Okay, my collective of pile two, let's see what lesson Spirit wants to talk about in embracing solitude for you. We have movement, release, and get curious. Okay, my collective, so when it comes to what Spirit wants you to, or how Spirit wants you to embrace this solitude, I guess the bulk of the lesson is going to be the three cards that I just showed you. So movement, talking about literally that, movement, allowing movement to release any stuck or pent-up energy, slow methodical movements for gradual progress. It's also talking about leaving one facet of oneself and shifting into another. And that shift of releasing, that shift of, being able to shake off what's not moving or that feels stuck sends you into this release. And that release of letting go, same idea of that movement. That movement is allowing for the release. And that release of whatever has been pent up or stagnant in your life. And their tip I'm gathering with Get Curious, it talks about using curiosity as a beautiful spark and bridge to change the perspective. Get curious about this shift, about where you're moving, of what needs to be released, of what you can discover. So the solitude energy, this embracing the solitude, is talking about shifting out of one's energy into something else. And that snake is obviously that powerful symbol of regeneration and rebirth. So if we are rebirthing ourselves to release into the new version of ourselves, release what hadn't been working prior, what's old and stale and taking up space in your life. What other behaviors and beliefs do you wish to possess? It's asking about repurposing old knowledge or old beliefs, or setting them aside and releasing them fully. They're asking you, how can you transmute what no longer serves you either, which is coming back to that get curious. Get curious about your energy, about life, about this newness, about this solitude. It's embracing that childlike wonder of the unknown. Beautiful. So let's see maybe how this played out for you, how it will play out for you, how it did play out for you. I'm gathering these energies more as in present or past, not so much future energies, but it definitely can apply that way. So you apply them how they fit for you. So let's see how this may have played out. We have the Jack of Diamonds, which is the Page of Pentacles. And that talks about that curiosity and wonder, that fascination and scholarship. Then we have, the Ace of Pentacles, or the Ace of Diamonds, and it's also the World, which talks about peace, travel, and open-mindedness. The Four of Diamonds, or Four of Pentacles, talks about preoccupation with material possessions. The Eight of Hearts, or Eight of Cups, also the Moon in this deck, talks about mystery, instinct, and the subtleties. And then you have the Jack of Hearts, Page of Cups, which talks about unconscious thoughts coming to the surface. So how this may play out for you here is coming back to this wonder, this fascination and scholarly understanding I'm getting, understanding of what needs to shift in this world type of energy, in this new start, in this new cycle of you. So you have done your research studies, so to speak, on what needs to be moved, what needs to be shifted within your world, inner and outer. That is asking for you to let go a little bit of the grip while you're creating the stability. It's almost like a fluidity to find the stable. That's the energy that they're giving me. And I feel the obsession with the material possessions in the sense of you, the material possession, is what I'm getting. Like trying to find that right structure within a better foundation, a better alignment with self and with the world. It's like integrating the inner and the outer worlds. That's what I'm really feeling, and solidifying it in this third density. That leads you into that Eight of Cups energy, or that Eight of Hearts, or the Moon energy, which is that subtlety and the mysteries, your instincts, your intuition, and the subtlety of doing this shift, of releasing. Like it feels almost like what would be that perfect description? I don't know if you've ever used that liquid band-aid. It's like I think it's called New Skin. As a dancer, I use them a lot for my feet. So this is what they're showing me. They're showing me like a layer of skin peeling off, like that band-aid does. It's almost like if you get glue stuck to you and you sort of peel it off. That's the feeling that they're giving me, and that's what this shedding feels like. It doesn't feel like a full snake shed, you know, like your whole freaking body and skin is out. This feels like layers being peeled off, thin layers. That's what I'm getting. And I guess that's where they're bringing that. They're emphasizing the subtlety of the moon. And going into that Jack of Hearts, that curious thoughts coming to the surface, or curious thoughts, unconscious thoughts, maybe curious thoughts. I was looking at get curious, but get curious about these unconscious thoughts coming to the surface, about what needs to be released, what you had been holding on to, what was keeping your structure too rigid, what you weren't trusting in your intuition, weren't following that, where you want to go in this world energy, and starting this new cycle with the sense of wonder and curiosity about this state of being, or where this phase will take you. Amazing. Okay, so that's looking how it's going to play out, as in it's going to be worldly and internal. You're going to have to go within self. You're going to have to find a way to not be too rigid while you're creating the stability too. So again, that loose, fluid movement. And again, the main energy here of like, is what I'm feeling is that Jack of Hearts, that unconscious thoughts coming to the surface. I really do feel like all of this is a progression of the discovery of what really needs to be released. And that's coming back to that sitting in and checking in with self. Let's see how you might handle the situation, or how you did handle the situation. Speaking of, that's perfect continuation. Jack of Hearts again. Unconscious thoughts coming to the surface, hence that knowledge, that curiosity, that fascination, that wonder. The Ten of Diamonds, Ten of Pentacles. Underneath that world energy, which talks about a choice of security over risk, and enjoyment of wealth. They're making me pause here. Why? I feel Spirit saying it's getting rid of the what ifs. You know, like not doubting the choices one makes in the moment one makes them. Because they keep referencing this Four of Pentacles here, right? And they're saying a choice of security over risk. So if we're talking about not being too rigid and trying to find that foundation, maybe in releasing these thin layers, you understand that it's not needed for this sort of big risk or big chance or big leap. It's like, again, that's why they kept saying it's subtle. All this is very, very subtle. And it feels more like an appreciation and gratitude for what one has, as opposed to looking outside of oneself in that world energy almost for validation or some sort of status or placement within one's life. This is interesting. Then we have the Fool. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, it's this beautiful freedom and fearlessness. You know, so you step into this like unconscious energies coming to the surface, choosing comfortability and wealth over risk, you know, and then freedom and fearlessness. It's like because of this understanding or perspective change or gratitude, it releases what needs to be released. It feels like the residual or the leftover dry skin, like a sunburn. Like they're showing me like when you would rub it and the skin comes. Like that's what they're showing me. They're like brushing off the debris of the dead skin. Interesting. And then we have the Eight of Diamonds, Eight of Pentacles, underneath the Eight of Hearts. And this is comfort achieved through work and persistence. And that's persistence of trusting the intuition, of the mysteries, of the subtleties happening. So how you handle this is you embrace it, you jump in, you find that gratitude, it releases you, and now you find that comfort in achieving what you have or what you will be moving towards in this new cycle of you. And then we have the Queen of Spades, which is the Queen of Swords. Perfect, underneath the Jack of Hearts. And she talks about strategy, intelligence, and ambition. How perfect, right? There is this fearlessness and freedom that you step into. So you've released everything. Now you're in this comfort of appreciating what you're working on, which again brings in even more of this beautiful strategy, intelligence, and ambition to step you forward and continue your movement out of the solitary energy into the movement, into the next phase of you. At many points in our life, we will often revisit the solitude energy. So in this particular phase of solitude for you, this is a particular lesson that they are ingraining or hoping for you to integrate within. All right, amazing. Let's see what you have learned or will learn. Tableau of the Waters, number 37. I'm really getting a deep sense of purification and again release. Like I'm not surprised that release is right in the middle of your reading. tableau of the Waters, she symbolizes emotions, serenity, meditation, and gracefully accepting change. That's exactly what you've done. Gracefully accepting change, that release here. So this reading is a reminder of the water energy, of it being mutable and changeable and fluid. It's talking about a change of emotions and possibly a change in health. The choice is obvious, but we sometimes forget that we have it. And making it wisely or unwisely determines our future. She says the things we need remain constant in life, no matter what's going on or how hectic the changes and pressures of our life may be. We need to nurture ourselves, love ourselves, and it's ultimately up to us to provide for ourselves. But the healing fairies will always help you. So this beautiful thing that you have learned, my gorgeous pile twos, mainly I feel is gracefully accepting this change, of being that mutable energy and loving oneself, nurturing oneself, cleansing and clearing oneself. I love that. That's what you will learn. Grace through difficulties is what they just said. Wow. Okay, beautiful, my collective of Baozu. Let's see what's to stay mindful of moving into the future. As I said, knowing that the solitary energies will eventually return in another phase in our life when we need to go in a little bit deeper to do some more transformation. So just a reminder, let's see. We have contentment. It says, you can learn to rest in what you already have and already are. Suddenly you remember, I'm right here resting in God. Ah, yeah, man. Contentment with that. Again, gracefully accepting change. Content with where you are. That full, fearless energy. Comfort in what you've built and what you're creating. Intelligence and ambition and strategy. They just said the contentment from the progress made out of the old self and into the new. Boom. Let out. The candle just went out and it was like, scene. Saw blackout. Everything's in a movie for me. And then your support you have here is prosperity. 𝘱𝘢. Prosperity. Yeah, there's a lot about like financial or material things for you. Obsession with material possessions. Again, it definitely can have to do specifically when it comes to like work energies, or they just said how you may be in corporate settings. That's interesting. My life is definitely not corporate, so that's for some of you guys for sure. Okay, so what does 𝘱𝘢 want to tell you? Let me tap into the energies for a minute. 𝘱𝘢 reminds you, this is again a heavy emphasis on monetary money in particular. Reminds you that it's essential to notice your feelings and beliefs and behaviors regarding money. It's time to truly love, honor, and respect your money, and in turn, it will love and honor and respect you. If you love and look for your money, it will want to be with you and work with you and work for you. If you take the time and the effort to truly look in this area of your life that gives you so much, you will find that the rewards can be infinite. If you think of money as a friend that you are happy to make the time and effort for, money will be your friend in return. Abundance comes from within, not without. You have the power to create and accumulate wealth and prosperity now. And again, I really do feel like it's that contentment of understanding one's power, that release and fearlessness of letting go of that rigidity and being grateful for what one has, and reminding yourself that abundance is a frequency. You are more than deserving of this beautiful relationship with money. That's just an extra support. So my beautiful collective of pile 2, I hope these messages resonated and gave you some support within this solitude lesson. I am sending you so much love. Keep watering your lives. Until next time, let me know if it resonated or not. Leave a like, subscribe, all the good stuff. Ciao. Welcome, my pile 3. Okay. Let's spread out your cards. Okay, my beautiful collective of pile 3. Let's see what Spirit wants to let us know or give us information on your lesson in embracing solitude. So we have the wildling. Trust. And compassion. So Spirit is bringing in this particular lesson on embracing solitude in the guise or in the form of primarily the wildling, which is talking about raw, raw, empowered, and an independent energy. It's a call for when you need to break out of things that are not moving or keeping you stuck. It seems to be a theme in the collective energies. And allowing you to break free from systems that limit you. That wildling is that raw, primitive, getting back to your primal nature, probably needing to disconnect with people to really not be influenced by others and really listening to the deep knowing within you or the deep call within you. So that call, that knowing, that empowerment, that independence, Spirit's asking you in this solitude embracing time is to trust in what that wildling is nudging you to do, what it's coaxing you to, what it's making you feel or impacting you in some way. That wildling energy is wanting to be explored, to be honored, and to be trusted, so that that compassion within self can grow. I heard illuminate first, but can expand and grow, and trusting in that intuitive knowing, into that wildling energy. And it's asking for understanding and compassion about the solitude time. Compassion for yourself, compassion for the situation, compassion for your previous understanding, and compassion from your mistakes or perceived mistakes. Trying to understand and listen from within. And it's an ask of you to break down or pull down some of the walls that may have been up prior, those ideas that may have limited us, back to that wildling energy. So I'm gathering here from Spirit that the reason why, or your lesson in embracing solitude, comes in the form of coming back to your wildness, is what I feel. That, like we said, that primitive nature, the deep core essence of who you are, and trusting in that energy, in that source light, without doubt, without hesitation, with full compassion. Past, present, and future. Compassion for past, present, and future is what they said. Beautiful. Okay, let's see how this may have played out for you, this lesson in embracing your solitude. We have the King of Swords. So the King of Spades, King of Swords, also is the Emperor, which talks about wisdom, experience, and authority. You have the Four of Clubs, or the Four of Wands. It talks about solid foundations, stability, and celebration. Couldn't think of the word. And then we have the Seven of Clubs, or the Seven of Wands. And it stands for vigilance and a struggle to stay ahead. Then you have, not doing reversals today. Oh yeah, it's not. So then we have the Two of Spades, which is the Hanged Man, or the Two of Swords, also in this deck, which talks about peace through self-discipline. And then you have the Seven of Diamonds, or Seven of Pentacles, which is also the Star, which talks about hope, faith, enlightenment, and healing. So what I'm gathering here, based on these cards and how this energy may have played out for you, if you're starting off in that Emperor energy, which is that authority and responsibility and wisdom and experience, you know, it's that wildling energy, that experience, that energy from that type of experience, meaning that primitive spark, you know, that leads you into looking for a different, I feel, a different foundation, because they're highlighting for me the path more than the wands in this particular card. And at the end of this wands card, there's like people celebrating. It's like the normal, but there's extra people, and their gold is literally the same color, so it sort of blends into like the horizon. That's what they're really focusing on. It feels like you're finding a new path to your type of stability. Again, they said not diluting or editing out parts of you. They're saying that needed to be kept quiet. I'm not sure entirely what that means. Regardless, you're no longer hiding, is what I'm hearing. And so this process of solitude is bringing you into this innate knowing, this trusting, this vigilance within self, and from past experiences, in all fairness. And that struggle to stay ahead, I feel like that's kind of the debate that you may go through while you're in this solitude energy. And they're feeling these energies more as in past or current, and not so much future, but you guys feel a little bit more possibility of future than the other piles. But this vigilance energy and a struggle to stay ahead, it's really making me feel like you sort of battling between going back to the old version, so to speak, of you, or toggling back and forth because of the loneliness, of how it feels to be by yourself sometimes, or feeling like nobody gets you is sort of what I'm feeling. Like nobody really understands you or can really take in all facets of you in some way. That's the feeling. And I feel like this embracing the solitude for you is coming into trusting in that knowing, especially trusting the intuition with that Two of Swords there, you know, blindly going towards what is right within, you know, and now looking at it from a new perspective with this Hanged Man energy. A deliberate choice to go into that energy, that deliberate sacrifice in a sense, and that self-discipline to not run away from self, to not run away from the solitude, which then brings in that hope and healing. You know, it's a really beautiful progression where it's like you go into it like, yeah, I got this, I know what I'm doing, and then you're like, shit, what's happening? Should I? And then you step back and you pause and you look at a different perspective. You look at it, from a different perspective. You are not choosing to see with your eyes, you're choosing to see with your heart, and your third eye is what they just showed me. They said, which is allowing space for spirit to come in and bring in this hope and healing. In that phase of this solitude, embracing it. Beautiful. Let's see how you may have handled it, how you will handle it. All right. So we have the Seven of Cups, Seven of Hearts, which talks about secrets, imaginations, and new feelings. Then we have the Three of Hearts, or Three of Cups, which is pretty straightforward. It's like a party or celebration in this deck. Then we have the Ten of Wands, which is responsibility and burden, which is coming out right underneath that Seven of Wands, that Seven of Clubs, which talks about struggle to get ahead, right? But vigilance. And then we have the Seven of Spades, or the Seven of Swords, with the Chariot, which is a triumph, an inventive solution. And then we have, beautiful, the Ten of Hearts, the Ten of Cups, which is the Wheel of Fortune. And it's talking about plans set in motion. So if we're talking about here, this Seven of Hearts energy, which is that secrets, imagination, and new feelings, right? Underneath that Emperor and King of Swords, new ideas, new feelings about this wildling energy, creating and going after that new path, celebration within this decision is what I'm feeling. Same thing we talked about here with these Seven of Clubs energy, with that vigilance and a struggle to get ahead or to stay ahead. You know, and then you're coming into the responsibility and burden of that. Maybe it's the responsibilities and burdens of your everyday life while you're trying to maneuver or navigate out of certain parts of your everyday life, but you're still trying to find that balance between both. It feels like you're in this in-between stage of not, what's the word, downsizing in some way. In some way, like you're removing things from what is limiting you from creating and being more free. And I think you're just still figuring out what that even balance is, which that brings us to that Two of Swords, trusting in that energy, that perspective of that Hanged Man, finding a better and more inventive solution to a problem and triumph over that, which leads you into that beautiful, you know, Ten of Cups, that Wheel of Fortune energy, which is technically the plan is set in motion. Everything has been set and you deal with it well. Like you see it, you struggle a little bit. It's very clear. There's a moment where you're like, like F, like I just hearing you scream F, you know, and then you're like, okay, let me just step back and find a better way out of this instead of me struggling or doing too much or taking on too much or holding on for too long is what they just said too. So this is what your lesson in embracing solitude is teaching you or has taught you. It's about trusting the primitive nature, that wildling inside, and using compassion with yourself and with your scenario, from where you are to where you will be and to where you're going. And reminding yourself of that Emperor energy, of that Hanged Man, a perspective, of the hope and healing of the star, of the celebration of this new path, of releasing some of this burden once you know what to let go of. In other words, I don't even feel like I can necessarily tell you what that is, but you're eventually going to, they're saying like there's at least 3 things for sure that can come off right away without thinking. And then again, it's really lovely, Pal 3. Like you handle it well, you go through it fairly smoothly, considering that you only have like one kind of like hiccup or tender energy, let's say. You know, that might be a little bit more impactful in weighing on you emotionally, but I do feel like you get through it fairly smoothly. Amazing. Let's see what you will learn or what you have learned. Nice. The Fairy Godmother. Number 25. They're giving me like a wish is granted. Like I feel like you got something that you asked for, in a sense of this wildling energy. And maybe it comes back to the 3 things that could be let go of. It's like, oh my God, I can finally let go of this. There's an energy like that is what I'm feeling. The Godmother talks about gifts, talents, grace, and helpful lessons. So what have you learned? It's like a last minute rescue of yourself is what I'm hearing. Good things will be happening in ways that you may not even think that you deserve or even have thought to ask of. You know, there's something about that energy, again, like I was saying, almost imperceptibly, she gives unconditional love, the Fairy Godmother. And again, this compassion for yourself and situations. This is what you're learning. I feel like you're stepping into that type of energy. She's a reminder, or she asks you, I should say, to keep an eye out for unexpected good fortune, especially when you thought you saw bad luck headed your way. Wow. So yeah, that's beautiful. And that's, again, this is exactly perfect for when you're talking about if we're talking about what you've learned or what you will learn. It's like I can see the gift out of a shitty situation, or I can step myself out of it. There's really a big emphasis on this trusting you energy, the magic that is within you. She's a reminder to express gratitude on a daily basis and passing kindness on to somebody else. And there's a definite surprise, like something that you will not know how it's coming, what it's coming. I don't even think you may have even thought about it, to be honest. So don't even try now. My collective, because like, I wonder what it is. Don't even bother. They're just like, don't even bother. You're not even going to be able to fathom what this is, because it could be so small and making such a big, significant difference in your life, or really big and out of the blue. So don't limit the possibilities by trying to imagine what it could be, is how they worded it. Let it be something you have never imagined. Let it go. And let's just see what comes in. Love that. Oh man. Okay, Pal 3. Let's see what to keep in mind for your future energies. Challenges. Okay. So a reminder when you come into challenges again in your future, because it really does feel like you've really transmuted this energy in a very visceral and staying way. Like it has staying power now. Yeah. So just a reminder of challenges, and when challenges come up, this is what I feel like Spirit is reminding you of. Unbearable situations throw you directly into God's arms if you are open. And this might be what threw you into this wildling energy also. But again, you take this message as how they resonate. Please take over, Divine, and guide the right actions. Please take this burden and show me your will. This is it. Please take this burden and show me your will. That's what this energy in the middle is. That's the reminder. Open yourself up, or let God, Spirit, Source embrace you and take over to give you the right actions. Amazing. Let's see what your support is. Hidden worlds. Nice. Archangel Raziel. I am telling you, there is something very otherworldly about this pile 3. They're showing me, or they're saying, it's both. Like you stripped down to your core and you're now running and dancing naked. Like that's how they're showing it to me and said it to me. Like they're literally showing me naked in the fields, like just running and wow, screaming. Straight up wildling, no joke. Oh my god, that's amazing. Your support. Archangel Raziel reminds you that this is a time of heightened awareness for you. It's a time to truly and fully listen to self. It's an acknowledgement of you may have found yourself drawn to new ideas, new thoughts, new experiences recently. You might become more aware of signs and omens from the universe. Again, that surprise that's coming in. Your dreams might be a little bit stranger and more vivid. The veil may be thinning for you at this time. And this is new worlds within and without. And they're bringing me to this Two of Swords Hanged Man energy. That perspective, a willing change in perspective, a willing sacrifice in some way. I guess noteful or mindful of what is being revealed to you. There are secrets, keys, and signs from the universe that want to be revealed to you. It's a good time to write, to draw, to meditate, to communicate, just to create in general. They're asking you for this creative state to inspire you into a new state of mind, a new state of consciousness, of being, which is that wildling energy and that fairy godmother asking you to step into your magic quite literally. And I definitely think that you're doing it, and I feel like you're in the process of doing it. I think certain things are still getting let go of and released, but right now, my collective, it does feel like it honestly, for all piles I've read, your pile came out the quickest. Like in energy and understanding and even time. Like it's a little bit shorter than the rest of them because yours is a lot more direct and clear. And it's because I personally feel for you, pile 3, in this energy, this wildling energy is unapologetic. Again, that primitive, deep down knowing of going instinctually forward. Your primal desires. You know, that force is strong and palpable, and I can feel it. And because you are in that energy is why I feel like all of this is, it's not easier per se, or it's not necessarily better than anybody else's either. It's just the feeling of it feels more confident. Let me put it that way. You feel very sure going into this. Even if you don't, your energy feels very sure about this decision, about whatever you're taking from this solitude time. You know, it's like, okay, so if this is where I'm at, what am I doing with this time? What am I doing with my energies? What am I creating in this downtime? Like, you are fully embracing wherever you are with this wildling energy, with full compassion and trusting. That is what you're learning and how to embrace the solitude, my collective of pile 3. I hope that was helpful for you. I am sending you so much love. If it was, please leave a like, subscribe. That'd be great. Leave a comment. I love those. Until next time, keep watering your lives. Ciao.